Greetings. So, after a nice long day of work, which frustrated the hell out of me, let's talk about frustrated players and happy players. It's always backwards to me, so I always have to go, oh, I have to, no, turn it that way. Okay. Now, frustrated and happy players. Let's start in Anaheim. Getzlaf's had a good start. He's got 5 points in 5 games. Every time I watch a bloody Ducks game, he gets a point on whatever play is going on at the time. I'm getting angry with that. If you're a Ducks fan, no, it doesn't mean I'm going to watch more hockey with the Anaheim Ducks in. Sorry, just hungry after work. On the cold side, there's Antoine Vermette. 1 point in 5 games. Now, I know he wasn't being counted on for offense, but that's not good. He does have 47 face-off wins as opposed to 23 face-off losses, so he is doing what they signed him for. Nick Ritchie, 1 point in 5 games. I am not impressed with Nick Ritchie offensively. I just don't think he has it. Mason Raymond, no points in 4 games, which is disappointing. Emerson Eden with no points in 2 games, which is not shocking. Bieksa hasn't got a point yet in 5 games. Not shocking if you've watched the games. Bieksa is not the defenseman he was 5 years ago. And then on the last page, it's just Johan Larsson. All right, so that's the Ducks. No, I don't want them yet. Arizona Coyotes. The number 1 scorer is Brad Richardson with 4 points in 4 games. Yeah, it is. Jordan Martinook has 4 points in 4 games as well. And then Shane Doan with 3 points in 4 games. Jacob Chychrun has 3 points in 3 games. So anybody who during the summer said Chychrun's ready and people who go, he's nothing. Looks like the people who said he was ready might have been right. Dvorak only has 1 point. Dylan Strome only has 1 point. Max Domi's only got 1 point in 4 games, and he's a -4. So slow starts for those guys. Lawson Krause has no points in 3 games. He's a -2. In Boston, Marchand, of course, has 9 points in 5 games. Pasternak has 7 points in 5 games. Backus looks like he's off to a fast start, but he had 2 goals in the first game of the year, so 4 points in 5 games. He hasn't scored a goal since then. On the slow side, Krejci's only got 2 points, both assists in 5 games. John Michael Lyles only has 2 points in 5 games, but I didn't really expect anything more from him. Torrey Krug, scoreless in 5 games. Bolesky, scoreless in 5 games. Jimmy Hayes, scoreless in 5 games, and both Bolesky and Hayes are -5. So that's not good. Let's take a look. Yeah, Heinen's only, he's a rookie anyways, but no points in 4 games. Ryan O'Reilly's off to a decent start with 5 points in 4 games. Ristolainen's got 5 points, all assists in 4 games. No, don't do that. This whole touchscreen thing, I'm still getting used to it. Bogosian is off to a normal Bogosian start with no points in 4 games. Josh Georges, no points in 4 games, needs a -3. They're going to have problems with that blue line. Sorry, people. But the blue line is going to be the problem. Calgary. Calgary, their top scorer in 6 games is Backlund with 4 assists. Johnny Gaudreau's only got 3 points in 6 games, and he's a -7. So there's been a lot of talk about goaltending and what's wrong in Calgary, but Gaudreau and Monahan as well, he's a -6 in 6 games with 2 points, both of them goals. They're part of the problem. Jyrki Jokipaka, one of my favorites, 3 points in 5 games, a +1. So I can't really complain about how he's playing, can I? And fucking Weidman's got 3 points in 3 games, so there's a shocker. Bennett's got 2 assists in 6 games. Dougie Hamilton's off to another slow start, 1 point in 6 games. Chiasson. Oh wait, he's in an English-speaking city, so he's Chason again. I find that hilarious. That in 3 different games I watched, he was Chiasson last year, and they go, oh, now that he's in Calgary, he's Chason again. All right, whatever. Just talking to the girlfriend. Brody only has 1 assist in 6 games. Matt Tkachuk's got 1 goal in 5 games. Boma's been iffy. Nicholas Grossman's only played 1 game. There's Freddie Hamilton's played a game. Carolina. Lee Stempniak's off to a good start. He's got 6 points in 5 games. Sebastian Aho has 5 assists in 5 games. Noah Hannafin, 4 assists in 5 games. He's a -4, but he's in Carolina, so I'm not going to worry about his plus-minus. This is when somebody jumps on me. Plus-minus is a useless stat. I know. Pesky, no points in 5 games. Slavin, 1 point in 5 games. Lindholm, not looking like the breakout that I'd hoped he'd be. One assist in 5 games. He's only got 11 shots on goal. That's not great. Martin Ferk, only 1 game played. There's Jay McClement with no points in 5 games. Chicago, Anisimov, 8 points in 6 games. Panik, on the strength of a hat trick, has 6 goals in 6 games. Patrick Kane, 7 points in 6 games. Duncan Keith, 6 points in 6 games. So offense is not the problem in Chicago. And apparently neither are injuries. Page 2 tells me Hartman still just has the 1 goal. Jonathan Toews, only 2 assists in 6 games. Forsling, 1 assist in 6 games, 9 shots on net. He's even at plus-minus. 3 blocked shots, 11 attempted blocks, 5 hits. Not bad for a rookie. Kempney, no points in 6 games, 10 hits. So that's his game. Colorado. Weirkoch is leading the Colorado Avalanche with 5 points in 5 games, tied with Matt Duchene, 5 points. Nathan McKinnon, 5 points. Weirkoch, 5 points. That's awesome. Joe Colborne has 3 goals in 5 games. Landeskog, 3 points in 5 games. Soderberg, 3 points in 5 games. So lots of good things in Colorado. Iginla's only got 1 point in 5 games. It's a goal. So, it's early. Again, these stats are early, but it is interesting to see how some of these players are developing or not developing. I don't know. I don't want Dallas yet. Columbus. Zach Werenski, 5 points in 4 games. Alex Wenberg, 4 points in 4 games. So if you're a Columbus fan, what you have to cheer for is the fact that your young players are leading your team. Seth Jones has 3 points in 5 games. Boone Jenner, one assist in 5 games and a -5. And whether you like plus-minus or you hate it, having a minus that's higher than the amount of games you've played shows your team is having a poor start, and you're probably part of the problem. Dubinsky, 1 point in 4 games, and he's a -5. So Ryan Murray's only played 2 games. He's a -2, no points. Sam Gagner, 3 games, no points. No surprise there, really. Tyler Seguin leads the Stars with 5 points in 5 games. Jamie Benn is not off to a good start. 4 points in 5 games and a -4. Adam Cracknell, he's a +2. 2 goals in 5 games. 3 points altogether. Jason Spezza, 3 points in 5 games. -5. That's brutal. Ham Hughes has got 2 assists in 5 games. So good on him. Jordy Ben has 2 points in 3 games, both assists. Brett Ritchie, 2 points in 5 games. Brett and Nick Ritchie. It's a similar story with those 2 brothers, man. Stephen Johns still just has the 1 goal. Johnny Oduya, 1 assist. Yuri Hoodler has played 2 games, and he's a -3 over those 2 games. Patrick Sharp, 1 assist in 4 games. So, yeah, he got hurt the other night, but he hasn't been playing great either. Essa Lindell's only played 2 games, no points. So his arrival hasn't been what some figured it would be. Vanek has 7 points in 6 games. Nyquist has 7 points in 6 games. This is Detroit now, of course. Mike Green, 7 points in 6 games, and all of them 3 goals, 4 assists. Darren Helm, 4 goals in 6 games. Zetterberg has 3 points in 6 games. Tatar has 2, and they were definitely counting on Tatar for offense this year. Dylan Larkin, only 1 assist in 6 games. So there's that. There's the first sign of the curse, the sophomore curse, and it happens. The sophomore jinx happens. DeKaiser, 1 goal in 6 games. Marchenko, 1 assist in 6 games. So depth for Detroit has been a problem, and Abdelkader's only got 1 goal in 5 games and no assists. So if that keeps up, he's going to lose ice time. Connor McDavid has a human-like 8 points in 5 games. Eberle, benefiting from good ice time and a pretty good set of line mates, has 6 points in 5 games. Leon Draisaitl, who's been the story early for the Oilers. Everybody talks about McDavid and Luch, but really Draisaitl has been fantastic in any game I've watched of the Oilers this year. Luch, 4 points in 5 games. Tyler Pitlick has 3 goals in 5 games. Okay, so I paused for a moment there. Zach Kassian has 1 goal in 5 games. No surprise there. Chris Russell, +6 in 5 games and 3 assists. I wish him well in Edmonton. I just didn't like him in Dallas. And that happens. Some players don't play well for a certain team. Clefbaum, 1 assist in 6 games. Nugent Hopkins, 1 assist in 5 games. And I make that face not because he's not playing well, but because he's not going to get that prime ice time now with the lineup they have. And it's going to make it harder for the Oilers to move him. At that salary, he has to be putting up numbers. I know it's an impossible situation for Nugent Hopkins. Puljujarvi still has the 1 goal in 3 games. Don't panic, people. Don't compare him to other rookies in the league. That's one of the worst things you can do is compare him to other rookies. It's like Dubois in Columbus. Well, he got sent back to junior, so he must not be as good as an insert name of player here. That's not necessarily the case. Every player progresses differently. Florida, Barkov has 5 points in 5 games. Mike Matheson. Or Mark Matheson. It's Mike Matheson. 2 goals, 5 games. I like him a lot. Yager, 3 points in 5 games. Is he finally going to slow down? I think this is the year he slows down. Of course, people have been saying that for 10 years. And McCann, no points in 5 games. Only a -1. He's only had 11 faceoffs. He's won 4 of them. He's had 4 hits in 5 games. From what I've seen of him in Florida, they're trying to round out his defensive game. So they're giving him those 4th line minutes. And they seem to have the long game in mind. So they're getting his defensive game in order. And then Jared McCann has decent hands. So I'm not worried about that. All right. LA, Devin Setaguchi, who's come back from the abyss. 2 points in 5 games. ±3. So he's looked good so far for the Kings. Carter's only got 1 goal in 5 games. Kopitar, 1 goal in 5 games. Pearson has 4 goals in 3 games. So Tanner Pearson's dragging him. The Kings, their scoring is a problem, especially considering the fact that they also have a goaltending issue. There's Forbort, who's got no points in 5 games and he's a -3, but he's been decent. All right, I will be right back. All right, so who else for the Kings? Jake Muzzin's got no points in 5 games. Clifford has no points, but it's Clifford. Nobody cares. Minnesota, Ryan Suter, 5 points in 5 games. Chris Stewart, his 3 points in 5 games. Eric Stahl has the 3 goals, no assists, so 3 points in 5 games. Jonas Brodin appears to be on his way back. Nino Niederreiter hasn't scored yet. Jason Zucker hasn't scored yet. Zach Parise hasn't scored yet. It's an interesting collection, that's for sure. Scandella hasn't got a point yet. Pulkkinen has a goal in 5 games, no other points. Michael Granlund has 1 point in 5 games. So Marcus right now looks like the better offensive player of the Granlund brothers. Eriksson Ek with a goal in his 1 game. I love the name Eriksson Ek, so I hope he succeeds. Pominville, only 2 points in 5 games. The Habs, Brendan Gallagher, 5 points in 5 games. He's not my favorite person. Galchenyuk also has 5 points. Pacioretty has 5 points. Shea Weber has 5 points and is a +8. At what point are Montreal fans going to realize that trade was probably a good trade? No, they'll argue about it anyways. Desharnais has 4 points in 5 games. Petrie, 4 points in 4 games. Plekanec, no goals yet. Radulov has 2 points in 5 games. And honestly, the game I watched of Montreal's, he seemed kind of invisible. That's just me, I guess. Andrew Shaw, 1 goal in 5 games. He's been more busy shit disturbing than he should be. He should be worried about focusing on hockey a little more. Nashville, Forsberg hasn't scored a goal yet, but he has 5 points. PK Subban has 5 points and is a -4. Ryan Johansson, no goals yet in 5 games. Mike Fisher, 3 goals in 4 games. Roman Josi, he's a -3, so that shows that the plus-minus right now is skewed towards the negative because Nashville's off to a really poor start. Victor Arvidsson has 3 goals in 5 games. Somebody picked him to be a pretty good player this year. Mike the douchebag Ribeiro has a goal in 5 games. What? That's his middle name. I didn't make that up. Kelly Yarncroc has 1 goal in 5 games. Yannick Weber has a point, so good for him. James Neal, no goals and a -4. 23 shots on net, though. At least he's getting the shots. That's the thing. As long as a goal scorer is still getting their shots, you're good. Kyle Palmieri has 3 points in 5 games. Taylor Hall has 3 goals, no assists. It's not his fault he has nobody to pass it to. P.A. Parento has 3 points in 5 games. Zajac, 3 points. Severson, 2. Zaka, 1 point in 5 games. How long does he stick around before he gets sent down? And Adam Henrique, 1 point in 5 games. They can't send him down, but it's been a brutal start for a lot of... Look at this. Smith Pelly, no points. Bo Bennett, no points. Reed Boucher, no points in 2 games. Quincy, no points. Lovejoy, zip. There's Vern Fiddler, zip. I mean, you don't expect these guys to have a lot of points anyways, but the fact that all of them are at Cobb, that's not good. Islanders. Brock Nelson leads the way with 5 points. There's Johnny Boychuk with 3. Ryan Strome with 2. Wait, what the hell's going on here? Tavares only has 1 goal in 5 games. Wow, that's a poor start. Dennis Seidenberg, 1 goal in 5 games, and he's a +5. Kuhlman's a -1. Andrew Ladd, 5 games, no points. Somebody might have called that. I know, it's early in the season, but somebody called that I didn't like Andrew Ladd with the Islanders, but whatever. Rangers, Kreider has 7 points in 5 games. Zibanejad has 6. Zuccarello has 5. McDonough has 4. Vesey has 3 goals in 5 games, so good start for him. Rick Nash has 3 points in 5 games and a -3. Let's see. Grabner has 2 goals in 5 games. That's good for Grabner. Clendenning with an assist. Mark Stahl with a goal. Brady Shea with an assist. Buchnevich has only played 2 games. There's Kevin Klein. Ottawa. Erik Karlsson single-handedly dragging them to respectability with 7 points in 5 games as a defenseman. Dzingel with 4 points in 5 games. Brassard has 3 points in 5 games. So the comparison of Brassard and Zibanejad right now, Zibanejad would be winning. Hoffman's off to kind of a slow start. And Dion Phaneuf, wow, he scored a beautiful goal last night. It's a shame it was on his own net. So, a goal is a goal. He is -5 in 5 games. I had hoped he'd get better in Ottawa, but it looks like it's a walking tire fire or skating tire fire in this situation. Mark Mathot only has 1 point, but he's a +7. So since he's a +7 and Finessa -5, that's where I think plus minus matters. Is when it's that much of a difference over that few of a number of games. Tells you that one guy probably getting his reads very well, playing very well defensively. The other one, not so much. Voracek 7 points. Giroux 6 points in 5 games. I'm in Philly now. Konechny has 5 points in 5 games, so he's off to a good start. Provorov has 3 assists in 5 games. So it's an exciting time to be a Flyers fan because you got all kinds of rookies in there. Dale Weiss, who's going to be serving a 3-game suspension, rightfully so. Weiss is one of those guys who plays on the edge. I didn't see him as a dirty player in Vancouver, but I can see how suspensions are going to happen because of the way he plays hockey. Pittsburgh. Matt Cullen leads the way with 5 points in 6 games. That's just to show how early it is. Connor Sheary, 3 points in 4 games. Malkin, 5 points in 6 games and a -1. Every time I mention plus minus, I just picture English Jaffa just getting angrier and angrier. Eric Fair, no points. Wow, there's a lot of no points. Okay, so these guys all have nothing. Mata, Kuhnhackl, Fair, Dumoulin. These are all 6 games too. Hagelin has nothing. Brian Russ played 3 games and has nothing. And Pouliot's only played 1 game. So that nothing next to his name isn't as big a deal. But wow, there's a lot of guys not scoring in Pittsburgh so far. And 6 games we're getting into the range where it's almost 10% of the way through the season. That's what matters. No, I don't want them yet. No, I don't want them either. I'm getting used to the touchscreen and it's touchy. Brent Burns, 9 points in 6 games for San Jose. Pavelski, 7 points. Hurdle with 3. Melker Carlson has 1. Just for the fact his first name is Melker, I really hope he plays well. Donskoy only has 1 assist, but his game isn't about points. Bodker has 1 goal. Wingles has 1 assist. Brendan Dillon 1 assist. Joel Ward 1 goal. So again, the depth of scoring in the NHL. I know scoring's been up early, but it seems like it's the big names getting the points for the most part, and you need your depth scoring to be there. Stastny has 7 points in 6 games for the Blues. Steen has 7 points. Tarasenko has 7 points. Yak, of course, which is the talk of Edmonton. Yakupov has 2 goals in 6 games, 4 points altogether. Pietrangelo has 4 points. And looked really good in the game I watched the other night. Fabry's looked really good too, so ignore that -2 and the fact he hasn't scored a goal yet. Robbie Fabry looks good. Ratty's only played the 1 game. Yaskins played 4. Payarvi is still in the NHL somehow, so apparently reclamation projects of the Oilers end up in St. Louis. Parayko has 2 points in 6 games. Bouwmeester only has 1 assist so far. Laterra hasn't scored a point yet. It's just funny to see some of these guys that during the summer I said I don't really think they're great. How do I put this? They're good players, but I don't see them as key building blocks, key players. And I kind of got some brushback, like, well, you're not really a fan of the team if you think that, and some of these guys just aren't scoring right now. I just find it funny. Filppula leads the scoring parade in Tampa, kind of, sort of. Killorn, Stamkos, and Filppula all have 5 points in 5 games. Drouin has 4 points in 5 games. Looked fantastic in the game I watched him the other night. Jason Garrison, 2 assists, -3. Braden Point has 2 assists. Schuster, 5 games, 7 penalty minutes. JT Brown's in there too. He's one of those ones you kind of forget is still around, if you're not a fan of the team anyways. Toronto. Austin Matthews, by virtue of the 4-goal game he had in his first game of the year, is still leading the way with 8 points in 5 games. Willie Nylander has 7. Mitch Marner has 3 in 5 games. Zaitsev, -3. He has 3 assists in 5 games. So the offense has been there. I don't know if the defense has been there or not. I mean, their entire defense is in flux anyways. And Kadri with 3 points in 5 games. Komarov has fallen back, which is what's going to happen when he has more offensive talent in front of him. He can play a role he's more comfortable with, which is further down in the roster. Vancouver, Brandon Sutter leads the way with 5 points. The Sedins are tied with 4 points each. 2 goals for both of them as well. Louis Eriksson, 2 assists of 5 games, no goals. Philip Larson, who's been getting better, 2 assists in 5 games. Bo Horvat, 2 goals in 5 games. Sven Berchi, nothing. He's got 2 assists, or 1 assist to his name. I think 1. Yeah, 1 assist. Goodbranson has that 1 point, but he's not paid for points. Edler is, and he's got 1 point. Tanev has 1. Zbiza has 1. Gauntz has 1. Hutton has 1. Burrows has 0. Virtanen has nothing in 3 games. At what point do they send Virtanen down? In Washington, Ovechkin's got 3 goals. He's only got 4 points because he doesn't pass the puck. He also has 21 shots in 5 games, so he's on pace for about like 8,000 shots. He has 12 hits, so he's hitting everything that moves. And of his 3 goals, one of them is a power play marker. So he's playing pretty well. Kuznetsov, not so much. Backstrom, 3 assists, so they both have 3 points. Oshie has the 2 goals. Tom Wilson, I'd hoped he'd step forward. He has no points yet. Justin Williams only has the 1 goal. John Carlson only has 1 assist. And last but not least, the surprising to some, not to me, Winnipeg Jets. I expect them to get off to a fast start. I don't know if they can keep it up, but I'd expected a fast start from them, at least offensively. Lenne, 4 goals in 4 games. Scheifele, 6 points in 4 games. Wheeler, 5. Byfuglien, 4. And Little, of course, is hurt. Matthias has looked great in the games I've watched in Winnipeg so far, but I've always been a fan of Sean Matthias. Ben Sherratt, 3 games, no points. Lowry has no points. Brandon Tanev has no points. Postma has nothing. And Joel Armia has nothing. So that's where we're at right now in terms of scoring. Let me know who you think is likely to break out of these nothing situations. If you're fans of these teams, go ahead and tell me where I'm wrong. Say this person is scoring more than they should have, or this guy is getting a lot of opportunities and he'll turn it around. So anyways, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll be back later with more videos.